Is this the end of candy selling? Are we going to have to resort to selling toilet paper instead of Starburst and Skittles at school to make money? Most candy sellers have told me that they have extended spring breaks currently and their schools are shut down. So I want to show you some of the main ways this situation is affecting all candy sellers around the world and how you could better prepare for it for your comeback and to make money outside of school. Let's just get right into it. So the number one impact so far is school closure. I asked a poll on YouTube and on Instagram, and around 75% of you said that your school is closing for the next few weeks. And of course, that obviously means no sales at school because school is not open. But don't worry, there are ways to around this, because in the next few weeks I will be pumping out a few videos on how to make money outside of school as a candy seller. So subscribe right now if you haven't already to be able to keep that cash flow up during this situation. However, once school comes back, I will be making specialized videos on how to return to candy selling after this situation is over. So I would highly recommend you subscribe right now to be ready for that. But of course, school is closing. You need to find a way to make money outside of school, because when there's no school, you're obviously not able to sell. School closure is the number one thing that is hitting a lot of candy sellers. Now, if you're a candy seller and your school hasn't closed down yet, I would highly recommend you cash out as much as possible. Try to sell your leftover supply just in case your school district decides to close down your schools. However, if your school is not looking like it's going to close down, make sure to take advantage of that and keep making money, because in this shaky situation, who knows when income might stop. So make sure if you're still in school, make as much money as possible while it's still open. You've probably seen the videos. The number two way this is impacting candy sellers is the chaos and the shortage stores are experiencing, like Costco and Sam's Club, during this situation. Now, you've probably seen the videos. There's super long lines. There's a lot of people there trying to get stuff and supplies and food. And of course, this is not the ideal situation for us to go make a massive restock, unless you want to waste a lot of hours and risk not being able to buy any candy because everyone's buying that. Now, who knows if people are even buying snacks and candy during this time, because so far it looks like a lot of people are just buying water and toilet paper and stuff like that. However, I'm not sure if candy is being affected, because I recently made a huge restock before this situation started. So I still have a lot of supply I could use when we return to school. However, if you're planning to make a restock, I highly recommend you wait it out until things are getting better, when people are less panicked and when schools are about to open again. That's when stores hopefully will restock again on the candy and snacks. Just be prepared for when school comes back. So far I've seen some stores are super busy and super crowded and experiencing shortages. However, I've seen some stores that are calm and look like normal. Just the toilet paper section is cleared out. And if anything happens, you have a huge stash of candy at your house to help you survive through this situation. So go ahead and wait it out or go make that restock. But be careful if there's still a lot of people at the store and if they still haven't restocked and there's a shortage. Alright, one of the main concerns I'm having, which essentially is the third biggest thing that might impact candy sellers, is stricter procedures. First of all, a lot of candy sellers are saying that their parents are not letting them sell, even though they're allowed to go to school. And some parents are not even letting them go to school when school is still open. So one of the things I predict is once schools start opening again, they're going to have stricter procedures for the first few weeks that they open again. They're going to try to be cleaner and more sanitary, and this might restrict some things on the bags. They might be checking more bags, or they might be trying to restrict the amount of bags or outside stuff that you guys bring inside the school to try to keep it as sanitary and as clean as possible. And of course, for some of the sellers, including myself, that have stashes in locker rooms, I'm sure they're going to be doing a lot of sweeps and cleaning during there. So your stashes might be compromised if they're going locker to locker, cleaning up the mess that usually accumulates inside the locker room. And I would recommend you assess your school's new procedures on how they're gonna clean and make sure everything is sanitary. Now, this may or may not affect your candy selling business, so I want you to be very careful, especially the first few days once you return. Make sure to assess the situation. If you see everything's clear, then you don't have to worry about this. And in terms of your parents, make sure they let you return to selling. Now, here's the one thing I would recommend. Be careful when handling money. Obviously, money is very dirty, so once everything calms down and people start returning to school, have some hand sanitizer or wash your hands often. Now, this is another positive of switching over to online payments. If you could tell people to pay you through Cash App or Venmo, you don't have to handle cash anymore. But be very careful when handling cash. So just clean your hands often and maybe use a glove if you want to, but just be careful with cash and handling food. Now, this is probably the biggest mistake candy sellers can make during this break. Now, you better not do this. Pay close attention. If you do this, I will be mad. Do not eat your own supply. I know it could be tempting and you're not going to be in school for a while, so there's a good stash right there in your room, ready and tempted to be eaten by you. No wonder why it sells so good at school. The candy is good, but I do not want you to eat your own supply. So only keep it for a long period of time and for emergencies. But if everything's gonna calm down and people start returning to school, I want you to save the candy for school. Don't eat it because that's just wasted money and wasted potential profit. So do not eat your own supply. Here's one tip. Move your candy and all your snacks outside of your room. Take it out there and put it into another room. Ask your parents if you have other space in your house that you could store your candy, but take it out of your room. Take that temptation out of sight so you do not dig into your delicious snacks and start eating them into your profits. So don't do that. Don't eat your own supply. I will be mad. However, there are solutions to this situation, so I want you to listen closely so you're able to make it out of this situation with enough money to be able to reinvest it and then go back to selling candy stronger than ever. So first of all, we need to make money outside of school. So for the next few weeks, I will be dropping a few videos on how I am making money as a candy seller outside of school. And this does not determine, and it will not be impacted by our current situation. So we're still able to make some money as a candy seller outside of school. And I'm very excited to show you the interesting ways I was able to secure a quick bag uniquely and easily as a candy seller. So I want you to subscribe and be ready for those videos coming out very soon. Essentially, we need to make money outside of school. And like I mentioned before, number 2, you need to restock when you can or wait until things calm down, because I've seen some candy sellers waiting up to 3 hours just to check out at Costco. So I would wait a little. I'm gonna wait until everything calms down and schools start announcing that we're gonna return to school. So I'm gonna wait to restock until later because things are too crazy right now, and I don't want to wait too much in line, and I don't want to be in the crowded Costco trying to restock on chips and candy and fight over some things, and who knows, they might even start restricting or limiting the amount of stuff you could buy. So it's just too crazy right now, so I'm gonna wait until things calm down to restock. And of course, I'm just gonna wait this out and I'm gonna plan my comeback. Obviously, the situation has impacted all candy sellers around the world, so I want you guys to be patient and just be ready to plan your comeback. Make sure to stay sanitary and be careful when handling cash and stay safe out there. So besides that, there is another positive when it comes to this situation. Your staff will forget. When everything goes back to normal, the teachers will be more focused on trying to keep everything clean and preventing it again than you selling candy. So most of your staff will probably forget, so you're able to implement the comeback strategies I mentioned in my previous video more successfully, because this gives you the break. And if you recently got caught in the past few weeks, take this break as an opportunity to plan your comeback, because obviously the teachers have forgotten during this time period. So I would highly recommend you plan your comeback and wait it out and be ready to return to school stronger than ever. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys stay safe out there. Make sure to subscribe to learn more how to make money outside of school as a candy seller. But I want you to watch this playlist to make sure your candy selling skills are not rusty during the break. So make sure you catch up on them so you're ready to come back. Besides that, never forget, I always got what you need, and I'll see you at the top.